I'm here with Ted Hensley, who's running for state representative for the 5th District. Ted, tell us a little bit about topics.com.
Well, I'd be glad to. You know, several folks have been talking to me over the past 2 years about this forum on the web called topics.com, and in particular, the Greenville Topics. I've heard a lot of things over the past couple of years, and a couple of times I've gone on there to actually look at it. You know, I was really surprised to find that what I feel like was probably a great forum that was set up originally to try to be of benefit to the community with announcements and invitations to events and all of that kind of thing, it can easily degrade into, well, a place where folks can have a brawl, you know, or sling mud at others, or state libelous, defamatory remarks, you know, that can be damaging to families, businesses, and undercut the very foundation of our community in a lot of ways. I was really concerned about it, and folks have asked me to look into it, see if anything could be done to help stop some of that defamatory, destructive type behavior.
Many people will see that as, maybe topics is protected under the freedom of speech. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm a constitutionalist, and I've studied the issue quite a bit. You know, prior to the formation of our Constitution, actually prior to the Revolutionary War, there were publications that were put on the street anonymously. The authors at that time, they were trying to affect political change. And quite frankly, some of the changes that they were promoting could have meant they would be separated from their heads, head from their body. But whether we're talking about Common Sense, the Federalist Papers, the Pamphleteers, or several other publications that were out at that time, they were very useful in helping to form the political nature that the form of our government that we finally ended up with here, the Republican form of government. Those were all done prior to the formation of the Constitution. You know, the Constitution, the First Amendment, the very first thing is freedom of speech. I went in to look at the state constitution as well, the Tennessee state constitution. And sure enough, there's some strong language there on freedom of speech. It does define that one must be responsible for those, well, for the speech that they make. Now, our founders never intended that you would hide behind a bush and yell out your thoughts or your opinions. You know, they assumed you would be standing on the street corner, standing up in a courthouse square, standing up in a church assembly. You would be identified. The problem with topics, as I see it, is with the hidden screen names. It could be anyone out there saying anything about anybody. I know of one case where one person actually signed up under like 45 or more screen names, pretending to be all these different people. And so the person who was under attack thought that the entire community was attacking him. His marriage, his business, his whole life was destroyed as a result of that. I think it's unfair, and something needs to be done.
Running for a state representative, are there any specific statutes that the Tennessee legislature has passed that would pertain to this issue?
Well, there are. There are both state and federal statutes on the books now. As a matter of fact, one very strong state statute was on our books until this last legislature. The House Bill 2641, however, was an amendment that weakened the bill that was in place already. I think perhaps the legislators thought that the strength of the bill which was already in place was unconstitutional, but in my opinion it was not. And not just my opinion, but the opinion of others who have gone through the process of thinking about the bill and what needs to be done to help strengthen it. Our incumbent actually voted to weaken that statute. But in thinking through where we need to go with this, you know that I know that I would find it hard to believe that anyone out there would not agree with me that the forum used for good purposes would be a good thing, and that the forum used for destructive and bad things would be a bad thing. And so if there were a way to seek some kind of balance between the free flow of ideas from anyone who wishes to share and the disruption, if you will, or the identification of the screen names, some other mechanism that would allow us to put a stop to the destructive nature of this website. If elected, I intend to follow through with whatever I can accomplish on the state level to see that the destructive nature is put to an end if possible, while allowing the good part to flourish.
Thank you, Mr. Hensley.